$175,000, you won't say nothing. That ain't worth $96 million. But you looking at Trump that ain't getting paid whatsoever. We're going to stop doing that on my show. But I see my guest here, and oh my God, it's Janelle. Oh my God, it's Kelvin. And I started sweating again. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Oh my God, go ahead, Dave. You're still late.
We are running a sale on our entire We the People line of products. Just use promo code TOLDYOUSO and get 15% off until the end of March. So order today.
Politicians are very good at playing with words. They always talk about gun control. How about right control? Because when you go against the Second Amendment, that's our right. That's our God-given right, not only by God, but by the founding fathers. So why don't you just call it what it really is, right control? You're taking our rights away. You cannot regulate evil. Evil is evil, and evil is always going to be persistent, and it's always going to be here. So why get rid of our ability to protect ourselves? The Second Amendment right protects the rest of them, and it protects us. It protects your home, your body, and your spirit, because without it, how are you going to protect yourself? Don't be a sheep. Don't follow just because it's popular. Think for yourself. Be yourself. Be that individual that God made you to be. He wasn't born to follow. He was born to lead. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to The Real News with Lucretia Hughes and Dave. Do not forget, if you're getting your magazines, if you got the NRA magazine, you got the Hunter magazine, Survivor magazine, any kind of preppers magazine, you're going to see a big dot that says the NRA Board of Directors election is coming up. I'm going to need for y'all to vote for me for the Board of Directors for the NRA. Like I said, I don't like making color a big damn thing, but I'll be the first black woman to ever sit on the Board of Directors in their whole entire history. And one thing I ain't going to do is back down. So, I see Kelvin. I see Janelle. Y'all just don't understand who these two people are and have been. And when I started getting in politics, and really it was Janelle that I met first. When you have an ally, you have a friend in politics, you have a friend, period. She did something that a lot of people under the thumb of politicians would never do, and that was welcome me with open arms. I always say that I'm hoodish and woodish all wrapped up in one, but I'm very damn smart at the same time. She sits at tables that sometimes I wished I could, but I know that I don't want to, because God don't have me on that path. So, Dave, go ahead and bring Kelvin and Janelle in. Kelvin. I wished I could, but I know that I don't want to. I said that, but Dave is the one that was on that path. Why am I hearing a reverb? So, Dave, go ahead and bring Kelvin. I'm hearing a reverb. Janelle in. Kelvin. I wished I could, but I know that I don't want to. I said that, what is going on, Dave? Is the one that was on that path. Why am I hearing a reverb? Dave, go ahead and bring him. I'm hearing a reverb. You need to speak and tell everybody what the issue is. Did you just keep... I'm hearing reverb after reverb.
Give me a minute. I don't, on this end, I don't know where it's coming from.
I still hear it. I still hear it. You got to bring them out and bring them back in? That's rude. Okay, can I say hello? Yay! I don't hear it anymore. That's my husband, y'all. That's my husband. And it's Kelvin.
Hey, Kelvin.
I've been calling you Kelvin.
It's all right. My family members call me Calvin sometimes, so I've been getting this my whole life. It's hard to say Kelvin, but I just tell people it's the temperature, like the temperature scale, degrees Kelvin.
You know what? Kelvin ran for, he ran for Senate. That was a big job. That was, when I say it was a big job he took on when there was a whole bunch of people with a lot of clout running. And you know what? I still think he could have took that on. Me personally, it takes a godly man to take on a warlock.
Amen.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And when it comes to Janelle, you done seen her everywhere, from Fox News to the George Gang to her own podcast and her own show. So, like I said, I have looked up to them because when you look at a power couple, this is what you're talking about. It is not Mike, Big Mike, and Barack Obama. Okay, no sir, no ma'am. It is literally them. That this is the power couple when it comes to the state of Georgia. So, how are y'all doing and what y'all been up to?
Oh
Thank you so much
man.
for that. Thank you
Thank
so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I gotta throw this in, right? So people don't know how far back we go. And when you were talking about that, I was like holding back the emotions because we went through the fire.
Yes, we did.
And you're right. It is a challenge sometimes trying to find your own identity in the party. Well, I would say in politics in general, because they always want you to act a certain type of way, but you just gotta be you. And that's what I admire about you. Like I trust what you say. Like I know what you're saying is because you believe in it. And that's what really matters. And that's what we need out here. And that's why people are
What's
moving
that
from
phrase? You
from
said
the
you're gonna say that phrase?
oh, that's right. I was gonna tell him. Let me tell you that my phrase is I always I keep enemies close and hide your friends because they come for your friends, right?
In politics.
And in politics, and they want you to just attack other people. They want to come for the people that love you, and so I love you, Lucretia. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of you, and I got your back, girl.
And
We're both proud of you.
thank y'all so much. This is what is next for y'all too, because there is an election season, and we need a new governor.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe that I would have defeated Raphael Warnock if I would have made it out of a primary, but God has a different plan. And we are staying in the game. Janelle is very involved with the SEB board. She did a great job on the corrections board, and I'm also serving still on the board of Equal Opportunity with the state of Georgia, and the Cobb Veterans Memorial Fund board. So we are still doing things. I don't have a plan to run for Senate, but I do have a plan to run for something. And right now I'm looking at 26. We'll see.
You
Stay
know, we
tuned
got
over the
a
next couple-
Secretary of State slot open. I mean, seriously.
Why does everybody keep asking me about Secretary of State?
Everybody wants him to run for Secretary of State,
We
and
got. If you don't, we're gonna be stuck with Gabriel Sterling. We don't
No.
want Gabriel
No,
Sterling.
we're not gonna do Gabriel stuff. No, we're not gonna be stuck with him.
Well, give us a good one, because right now all the names that are whispered are someone that is stepstoning. That is, all their friends has moved up. Now it's time for them to move up. They waited their turn. I don't want someone like that. I want someone that's gonna care about the situations, the licensing, the schooling, everything that the secretary, our voting, the machines, the whole nine. I want someone with high integrity, and we know Gabriel Sterling ain't that man.
Right. Well, the thing is, we need someone that's not just a business person. Brad Raffensperger is a business guy. That is a good skill to have, but I think ethics, character, and integrity far outweigh that. And I don't see a lot of that in that office right now. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and you all know my wife is on the SEB board, the state elections board. And she's doing a great job.
Wait a
fighting.
minute,
Thank
they
you.
was trying to get rid of her. You think I didn't hear them trying to get rid of
Hey,
Janelle?
that shows the ugliness of politics. There's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes, and God helps us. I mean, Janelle and I, we're aligned spiritually, and God protects and saves us. And yeah, they were trying to get rid of Janelle, but God had a different plan. And now she's very safe and very secure. And I'm learning a lot about the challenges of the Secretary of State through her involvement with the state elections board. And I'm already competent in the areas of regulation, regulatory requirements throughout the state of Georgia. As a general contractor, I have to go through all this licensing and maintain my licensing. So I'm comfortable on that side, which is a major portion of what the state Secretary of State does. In terms of securities, I've been a trader for years in terms of securities, and I used to write a capital markets newsletter back when I was in the military. So I'm comfortable with that. So I guess what I'm saying, I'm not. Am I trying to convince me or?
I'm trying to.
So you can see we're evaluating.
We're evaluating.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because what came out today when it comes to the Secretary of State's office, they're asking for millions of dollars to update the Dominion voting machine and the election in the state of Georgia. Then if you need to update the Dominion voting machine, then go ahead and get us new machines. I know you're still wasting another $66 million and giving it to the Secretary of State when there's so many questions about the Dominion voting machines, Smartmatics, and everything that's going in there.
You know, my challenge with the Secretary of State, particularly being on the SEB board, is that it's so much gross incompetence. And I say that with competence because I'm looking at everything that's coming across our table, and I'm looking at how they're handling things. And the biggest issue I have is there's cases is backed up. I think we had like 600 complaints that have not been seen, and we're trying our best to go through them. And we had a 2-day board meeting today and yesterday to do that. But the issue is that our Secretary of State's office is doing something else, and I'm not quite sure what it is. But I know that they're not supporting the counties the way they should. And it's bad that it's almost like we get the bad rap, like we're attacking the counties, and we're really not. We're trying to make it easier for counties to administer elections without having to deal with not having good training or adequate training, or having poor communication, just the
inconsistent processes and methods. That's what
Yes.
But you
I'm
got to
about.
think about it.
Yes.
Every county, all 159 counties, aren't as rich as Cobb County, as
Right.
Fulton County, DeKalb County, or any of these other counties. So when you leave it to these individual counties to maintain the updating and equipment of the Dominion voting machines, it come out of their budgets and out of their pockets. And if you are way down there in Christmas, Georgia, or you're way down there in Valdosta, and you're not getting the proper help from the Secretary of State, then you have to go inside of your own county to try to figure out the problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have to support our counties because they are the ones that's actually hands-on administering our elections. And what I'm mostly concerned about is local races.
Yes.
You know, on a federal level, we can get a lot of people to come out and vote and, you know, sway that a little bit. But on these local races, when we're talking about five votes or 50 votes that can sway an election, we can't have double voting.
No.
I'm getting ready to, I'm going to drop what we sent to the Attorney General's office, but we sent a list of complaints to the Attorney General's office to be investigated, of which some of these are just outright double voting. So I want to see what they're going to do, and I hope that they actually investigate it and persecute if it's needed.
Well, I
Right.
remember during the 2020 election, they were saying in some of these halfway homes that there was thousands of votes or people coming from the same address. There need to be some kind of safeguard that doesn't happen. And with you having that power to be able to suggest it and have a solution to this, maybe they'll listen. I often say maybe they will listen to you. But
They will. I did meet with Speaker Burns, and you know, he did say that he was going to assist us, and so we're gonna have some joint meetings with him to see if some of these rules can, you know, get passed through the legislature. So I'm optimistic about where the future is going.
Now, what about your future? Because we still gonna try to get him in office, Secretary of State or governor. You only got two choices. They don't need you at the federal level. They got you, but we need you in. Listen, we only hold on,
nice.
Dave. I don't want Burt Jones or Chris Carr
neither.
or Brad Raffensperger.
Hold on, you've been talking a lot. It would be nice to have a governor that respects the grassroots.
Yes.
Or it would be nice to have a Secretary of State, a Republican who's actually a Republican and not a Democrat running as a Republican.
Kind of like that. See, just giving him a little bit of airtime. He said something good.
Agreed. I mean, I can't argue with what he just said.
I know. No, I'm gonna tell you, I'm waiting for Kelvin to come off the mountain. You know, he's still talking to the burning bush, but I definitely can. I'm supportive of Secretary of State because I like that the business side of it, And we need to have a Secretary of State that's going to allow the state election board to do what they're supposed to do.
Well,
that will allow that separation to be there.
He's gonna get endorsed by Trump. You already know that. President Trump is gonna endorse him before he endorsed anybody else because y'all already been vetted. So it's not like they don't know who you are. They don't know y'all character. They don't know that y'all are a power couple. And then if you get in one, you're going to get both of y'all. So I feel like not only will
Hey,
Trump...
you sound like that. That's what I used to say. I say, we're like a buy one, get one free.
You're motivating to women. You're motivating to men. You're motivating to people that live in rural areas, suburbia, and the hoods because y'all are something that is not the norm on the grand scheme of things, and that you're wanting the well-being of it all. And I can tell you right now, you could go head-to-head with Jamal Bryant and not back down. You could go...
No.
Oh, man.
People look forward to it.
Yeah,
Man.
I was looking forward to Jamal Bryant, Raphael Warnock, and any of the other gatekeepers that they keep over there on the Democratic side. Because most of our arguments are much more strong than they are, and we typically understand why we feel and think the way we feel, and we know why we vote. We can explain why we vote. And Democrats, Janelle knows, I always say, ask them why 3 times, and their argument goes away. Yep. They don't have a root or foundation. No. At least we can always say that our positions are rooted in the Constitution, the Bible, or capitalism. Like, those are the only 3 foundations that we operate off of. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying we're perfect, but that's what we guide ourselves by.
And that's the way it should be.
Back to what you were saying in terms of the SED board and how they're operating right now, like, the Secretary of State's office is giving misleading information, because they told everybody, even the newspapers and all the media, that, there were so many audits done, and every time we do it, nothing changes. And we know that they weren't auditing the right items. I mean, Janelle knows about that from her meeting today.
So we want to see them audit the technology against the paper.
Ooh.
I don't want another technology only audit. I mean, that's just like, if they're a counterfeit, if I'm counting, permission to make an analogy.
Okay, go for it.
Like Jesse Waters, because my analogies are a little, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I feel like, okay, let's go with it. All right. The way I see it is when you audit only the technology, it's like counting a stack of money and you're looking for the counterfeit money, but you just keep counting that same stack. Like, there's nothing that's actually, there's no set of or procedure or no process that will allow you to be able to distinguish the real money from the counterfeit money.
Right.
So we need to have a process where we are tracking, we're auditing our elections based off of the paper and the technology. And guess what? The CEO of Dominion Machine actually said that. He agrees.
What about the CEO of the Smartmatics? Because you have Dominion, but the software on the inside is the problem. So if we're voting and we get our vote after we finish and we go over it, there's a QR code. We have no idea what the QR code say. When you push it in there, we see the names that's printed. Donald Trump, that person, and on down. But there's a QR code that goes up in the machine. Is it counting the QR code, or is it actually taking the names that we pushed in to... And so we take the paper, that's what Dave said, the paper ballots come in at. We take the paper ballots, and then we take what the count is inside of Smartmatics machine, and then I like to count. I'll count it.
I know. And you know what? To my understanding, and I will see when it happens, but I believe the QR code is going away. So we're going to see. But I have heard that the QR code either has already, it's supposed to, I think they already passed it, and it's supposed to come into effect this year or next year. But I do think the QR code, I'm pretty sure the QR code is going away.
Can we get rid of the geo tracking and also the drop boxes?
I want those drop boxes gone. That's actually a personal thing for me.
I would like to reduce the time that we vote. Like, it's almost a month that we can vote, and I think it's difficult to put controls around such a wide range of timing.
Well, only if you're a military, or you are in the hospital long term, or an old folks home. Senior citizens home. Those are the only ones that should not. Everybody else should be able to get out and vote. I don't think
I
it need to
agree.
be a month, and I definitely don't think you need to have ice cream and potato chips handed to you when you go into the the voting booth.
Oh man, I went to Fulton County, one of the precincts, and it looked like a whole festival. I mean, it was a festival going on, okay? So I'm with you.
And you understand that you're made for a time like this. You're made for a time to go in there and talk to people, common sense, a layman terminology, and you'll get represented well. I don't. People are not caring at this point because Donald Trump wouldn't have won if people really cared. They want solutions. They want
Yeah.
America back. I don't care if you are in the hood. I don't care if you're on Crenshaw, and I don't care if you're in the SWATs. You want that American dream. And then within the
Right.
last decade, the American dream got smaller and smaller and smaller. And now
Yeah.
you have an opportunity. And I just say thank you, Donald Trump, because we know we work hard, we play hard. So if you're working overtime, you now get to keep your money. Probably not at the state level, but the federal level. When it comes back to when I was raised and growing up, having babies like it was tic tac, I had to take a drug test before I got on any government assistant. There was a right to work. They showed you how to work. They put you in school. They put you through different classes to give you a leg up in life. What do you think about doing that, especially with y'all being a part of these huge organizations, giving people a direction on where they should go in life? Not only spiritually.
Well, we actually continue to do community outreach support work. We have an organization called Let's Win for America Action. Actually, even before that, we pushed a campaign called Kings for America to help with the 2024 elections.
Yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
yeah. And we got a lot of diverse folks who don't typically vote to come out and join us on our social media, virtual meetings, and in-person meetings. And it went well. We have such a broad reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been our, I will say collectively, our mission, particularly when it comes to our community, is to educate them on the micro issues. Because I feel like, and it's funny, I was telling Kelvin earlier, it feels like Black Democrats are living in the civil rights era and
Yes.
Black conservatives is living in Reconstruction. It's like we've got to figure out how we can help grow our own community. What can you do in your house? And how can you start there with financial literacy, with tips on how to reduce, your savings, or I mean, I'm sorry, reduce spending and save more. When it comes to, tips on parenting, ways to co-parent. We partner with an organization called Our Children Have Rights, and they help to support dads who are struggling with custody battles, to
Yes.
give them the support they need.
Cool,
So
great organization, by the way.
yeah, so we're just really into trying to educate our community on how you can go find those bootstraps to pull up, because I agree, not everyone knows that they have bootstraps,
But
And
they're
this is how
there
you do it.
but they are there.
in America.
You get rid of those civil rights from the '60s leaders. Put a gag in their mouth because they heydays are over. You can look at even in our community. They bring it back Jesse Jackson, bro. Go sit down. I
I
mean,
know.
Al
Well,
Sharpton.
I mean, you are somebody. I am somebody.
So why are they bringing these people back into the forefront that fought that fight, and these people are now bringing that fight back to 2025? We don't live back there anymore. You having
Right.
more interracial marriage, more kids coming to the table, more people playing with each other, and more in the pulpit and in their speech. It's like division all over again. And I thought they walked over the bridge of Selma, Alabama to get attacked by dogs so we can all live cohesively. And now they are back the old gatekeepers. It's like they the
Yeah.
overseers. But Jamal Bryant said, look at those coons and those runaway slaves up there in the White House. Well, at least you know you're a slave. At least we ran away. He didn't even try to catch himself.
I mean, the way they have weaponized the pulpit is disgusting. I mean, the amount of people that are getting in the pulpit and they're teaching politics and teaching division and teaching
Right.
anti-Christ rhetoric, and instead of teaching about sin, it's disgusting. Because at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, we all gonna have to stand before God ourselves. And sitting in these ministries that is just indoctrination machines and propaganda machines, it's not helping anybody.
No.
And you have to look at the audience and say, hey, to the congregation, you need to go read your Bible. It's something as simple as that.
That's something that's important in our lives right now. We read the Bible from beginning to end. This is our 3rd year.
Wow.
And obviously we're Christians and we've all read the Bible, but not from the start to the end. And it gives you such a unique perspective, Lucretia. Yeah. And it strengthens your faith. It allows you to understand the character of God better. Mm-hmm. And I think it helps just your overall impression on life, like how you show up on life, in life, your countenance.
And it keeps us aware of, like it says, we're supposed to be living every day like he's going to return. So if you having our elders, and in our community, we was taught to respect our elders and don't question authority, especially when it comes to our older people. I think our older people need to start being questioned, because there was a lot of stuff that they left out in life that they should have been teaching us a long time ago.
Those gatekeepers that we keep referring to, or those poverty pimps, like Walter Williams, like you call them, like those are the people that are keeping the communities from getting needed information or needed encouragement. And I'm going to pivot a little bit. I think the Democrats though are reeling right now, because this was like a left hook, right cross combination to them.
It wasn't ready.
Right.
It wasn't ready. All our work came together. All Black conservatism work came together, and it exploded.
And now, for the longest, Janelle and I used to talk about how, the Republican Party we're not winning the culture war. We don't have the folks that are pressing this messaging or quote unquote propaganda to the people. We don't have that. The Democrats have the teachers, they have the pastors, they have the entertainers, but now the culture war is flipped, like almost overnight, right? So the Democrats are trying to figure out where can they put their hooks into us. That's what they're trying to figure out right now. Nothing's sticking yet, but they'll find something. I mean, I think we should expect that they'll find something over time.
That's something, or they'll make it up.
Well, now,
but my point is that's why us as Republicans, we've got to be aware that the Democratic, just because we're winning right now, let's not just relax and not think that they're not going to try to come back.
Yes.
And push some foul policy that doesn't make any sense. That sounds good. That's going to hurt us. Yeah, they're working on how to do that right now.
Oh, you're talking about today.
So we need to make sure we have strong coaching arguments, strong officials in these seats, and strong candidates that we're
not take lip service. Can't take lip service. I'm so sick of lip service. And then you get up there, but you got to understand, this is it's not the good old politics anymore. And they don't know how, the old guard in the Republican Party don't know how to take any of this. They don't know how to take it, because we're asking them questions, because I don't mean no harm. There's a whole bunch of them up there acting like Democrats and have been. So they might tote the Republican banner, but I don't think they've read the platform, because anyone that's willing to compromise over the birth of babies, our economy, our nation, our military, our borders, then you know what? They're not Republicans whatsoever.
Let's get rid of them.
How are we going to do
it?
Exactly.
Vote them out.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting is that when I look at a lot of our elected officials, both sides of the aisle, just elected officials, period, they're in positions where they are too attached. Like, I feel like their livelihoods are too attached to their representation or their position they're supposed to be representing. That is a problem. It's a problem when you can't support yourself without this role.
Right.
Because now you're running for office to keep your job, not necessarily because you want to continue to do the good work that you're doing for the people. So I think it's a little,
it just makes us question your motivations, right? Not saying that you can't do an outstanding job in public service and need that job. That's not what we're saying at all.
You don't need $96 million. How you get 90? Now, I'm from the hood, so I know how to flip a brick.
Oh my God.
Anyway, but I don't think
we don't want to go in that direction, though.
I don't think nobody flipping bricks, but they flipping our taxes. And I need to know how you get rich. A public servant should never get rich in the position that they're in. And if I always tell people, if you ever want to learn about vetting a politician, you go check out their campaign contributions. Get that off their face. Campaign contribution, so you'll see who they actually work for.
Exactly.
I think that's a smart idea.
I love it. I love it. And we got to be more transparent. It's hard to find some of these donations, right? And some of these donors and stuff. So I think transparency matters. But I want to go back to something you said earlier when you were talking about how it feels like the old guard is not necessarily on brand or happy about the new generation of leaders. And I agree with you 1,000%, 1,000%. Because we're coming in with a different energy. You know, the energy I brought to the SCB board. First of all, they weren't ready for that. I don't think they realized that I'm like black for real. But I just, but because a lot of times they act like we're not black, and I'm just like, I'm sorry,
we're
but
just as black as any other person out there.
I have my passion.
Yeah.
My black passion comes out.
We just behave differently.
But no, but this energy of I'm gonna question you. I can respect the seat while also not respecting what you're doing. I can tell you you're wrong. And I don't care if you think that I'm not supposed to. I mean, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We, the people, have one job, and that is to be to hold these leaders accountable. That is our job.
You sure
so,
that's
I mean, we need to do it.
I'm thinking at this point, they are so deep in that if we really pulled back their skin, all of them going to jail. At least 89% of politicians are going to jail if we stand up and do exactly like this and our laws said. They're going to jail.
Yeah, I can't verify that, but one thing I can say is that both Janelle and I, we believe in just what she said, transparency. Mm-hmm. It's a public service. Mm-hmm. It's not your own your private way of making payments to pay off your house. This is public. All these dollars are public. I'm a general contractor. And I'm a government contractor. I do work for the government. Like my company and my staff, we work for the government. And whenever you work for the government, you have to be ready that all your stuff is open and will be disclosed. Because as a citizen, I want to make sure my dollars are being spent wisely. Mm-hmm. As a government contractor, we know that you gotta always be on the up and up if you want this government contract. Mm-hmm. That's the mindset that I will take to any seat that God blesses me with.
So the Secretary of State can go in there and look at the books of Stacey Abrams and the $2 billion that she was gifted in the last couple of months.
Well, I think the court system is going to investigate that right now. I believe they'll take care of that before the SOS will. But yeah, but that's a great example.
Perfect example.
I mean, when you have attorneys. And these, oh man, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I'm just telling you.
I piss people off.
When you have attorneys, when you have lawyers and all these elected official seats, I mean, attorneys are smart. They know how to work the law. They know how to work it into their favor. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think that does a service for the people. I think that the people want tradespeople or occupational folks, someone that knows how to do something, that they can bring that expertise to the public sector role. I think that's how we were originally designed when the country was set up.
That's the 13th Amendment. That's the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment was taken out of the Constitution because one of the things it said is that no lawyer should hold political office. They got rid of that one.
No shade to all the lawyers, but there was
the pendulum swings. Sometimes that knee-jerk reaction goes a little bit too far. But we get it.
Maybe not no lawyers, but but we understand. We understand. We really there are some that has been. I know on the SCB board. Sorry, I'm trying to charge plug my computer up. But I know on the SCB board, the amount of attorneys who say things like, "Oh, you're not authorized." Oh, you can't do it. It's just a shutdown. I mean, it's never solutions, only no's.
They use big words to try to shut you down. But the good thing about Janelle, I mean, we read through the code. Like we do our homework.
Yeah.
And when there's things that's inconsistent with what someone is saying and what's written in a code or a regulation, I mean, that's easy. You just call it out. And I hate to keep talking about government contracting.
Go ahead.
Like, that's one of the skills. Like every government contractor has to know how to read contracts. I used to be a contracting officer in the Air Force, and that was my job, was to write contracts. So I know government writing. I know government lingo. I know the acronyms. I know what the intentions are. And you need folks with that kind of capability and competency to cut through these legalese. Like, this lawfare is real.
It's real.
And you gotta have the right weapons. You gotta have the right weapons to cut through it. People who understand the fuzzy speaking of government writing, it can be difficult to understand, but that's what I grew up in. And we need people, and I'm not saying it's just me. I mean, there are people that are strong in other areas too, that we need to get them into these seats.
Yes.
But how do we find the right person? Because I think that's what we need to start
By doing primaries. By doing fair primaries. That's how you find the right people.
How are we going to have fair primaries, though?
We got to demand it. You know what? When we talk about having a fair primary, I mean, we can't skip primaries.
Nope.
We gotta make sure that during the primary process, this is the time where the people are at the most control.
Yeah, right.
This is when we have the most control. So the fact that we have the lowest turnout during primaries, the fact that you have so many people that say, oh, I'm just going to skip the primary because I already know, you're not doing your due diligence as a leader. And so, and as we the people, we've got to do it. This is when we are powerful. And so when I hear people say that, well, they're not listening to us or they're not doing enough for us, I immediately look at how was the primary? Did you do your research? Did you research all the candidates? The number of people who come to us and say, man, I would have voted for Kelvin had I known he was in the race.
He was in I even knew he was in the race, and y'all live on the other side of the state. You have some signs still put up here in Broward County. Somebody had to take
really?
it. Yes, you still got signs. I'm like, do he know his sign's still over here in Brazelton? I just keep driving.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, we went through the state to remove them, and we paid a service to remove them, but I don't think all of them were removed. But
we feel like they call us to take them down,
Yeah.
but if they don't, some places say we don't want to take them down, so we're like, okay.
Yeah, we're
Right
coming back
now,
around.
keep them and just get a placard and just say Secretary of State.
Because people are asking me about LG right
Yes.
now. People are asking me about Senate again. So, I'm just evaluating. It's just that it seems like the SOS is just, it's just something about it.
Lieutenant Governor. Oh, Lieutenant Governor. Well, Dave keeps shouting Governor. Lieutenant Governor King and Queen. Okay, yes, you can do that.
No.
All right, y'all, so we got less than 2 minutes. I want y'all to go ahead and close it out. Y'all can say whatever you want to say before Zoom cut y'all off. But everybody, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is Kelvin. This is I need to stop.
You still say
Y'all go ahead. Go ahead and y'all go ahead and take us out.
Well, I'm just going to say follow us on social media because we're going to be posting and posting and posting. KelvinKing.com is Kelvin's website. But just follow us. So just Google us and you'll find all our social media.
Yeah, essentially. Janelle and I, we're going to stay involved. Reach out to us. We always return everyone's call or text. Go to our events. We post everything in social media, so pay attention to that. Keep up with us and pay attention over the next few months.
Thank y'all. Thank you for coming on my show today. It was live too. I just appreciate it.
I know we had a good time.
I love this show. Thank you for having us. Okay, it feels good to be able to be on now because I normally watching. Sometimes it's like we'll just see it late night and we'll pull up the phone and we'll see your show and I'll click on it. I'm like, Kelvin, let's listen, right?
Well, if you ever need me and Dave, please just let us know, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate it, everybody. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave. Yay!
We are running a sale on our entire We the People line of products. Just use promo code Told You So and get 15% off until the end of March. So order today.
Real News with Lucretia Hughes is funded by you, the viewers, not USAID. So to support the show, please donate through PayPal at Fallback Production Studio, Cash App $,